Hi, welcome to Cedar Crest Studio. Come on in, I'll give you a tour. This is the control room and my office, and this is the storage of our tape storage here. We keep all of our master tapes for our audio recording projects and our master tapes for our video recording projects on this wall. We also have a storage room in the back for tapes that are what we call out of date, which would be anything over a year old. We keep on file in the back there. Over here will be our film transfer unit. This is our film transfer island here. This is where we do the home movie transfers or 35mm slides. We have two Kodak slide projectors here with an ectographic dissolve unit so that we can dissolve between slides, and then a home movie 8mm regular 8 Super 8 projector here. The way the process works is you have a color camera here. The color camera sees the films being projected on a series of lenses and prisms with some mirrors in here. The video is then transferred through the processing unit, the camera control unit, over here to the VCRs where we make our transfer to videotape. We also have a color monitor up here so that we can monitor in progress as we're doing the job. I'll show you some more gear. Okay, over here is our 16-track audio recorder. This is where we do our professional application of audio multi-tracking. Now, by multi-track, that means that you have 16 individual channels. So you can assign, if you would like, a microphone in front of a guitar amplifier or a voice or anything to each one of these individual channels. You have 16 different channels on this tape. The tape machine uses 1-inch tape, and the head stack is rather large. The head stack is where the tape runs across the head, and it has to be that long to accommodate the 16 channels of discrete audio sound. Those 16 channels then come back through the audio console here, where we have a slider volume unit for each one of those corresponding inputs over here. Once we get the tracks recorded, we then mix and blend the sound to get what we want out of it. We do not have a control room window. You usually see a recording studio with a lot of glass in it where you see in the other room. Since we are a video production facility, we find it a lot more convenient to use video cameras that are set up in the other room so that we can watch what's going on in there without them being disturbed by anything going on out here. Okay, here we are at the engineer's position, mixing position at the console. This little roll-around unit, we call him Little Otto affectionately, and he's our remote control unit for the 16-track audio recorder. The unit has a built-in microprocessor, which means the tape location says we're at 11 minutes and 55 seconds. If I want the tape deck to go to 12 minutes and 45 seconds, I punch it in and hit search, and the machine takes off and will hopefully find 12 minutes and 45 seconds. I also control all the machine's recording functions remotely from this location here. To the right of the console over here is our sound producing devices. These are our sound shapers. This rack of electronics gear contains digital reverbs, digital delay units, equalizers, vocal exciters, noise gates, compressor limiters. Very impressive sounding names. What they do, in essence, they take the sound being recorded onto tape and sweeten or shape. It's the professional tools that we use to make those sounds sound the way they're supposed to sound for a recorded record. It's kind of hard to describe. Each one of these specific electronic devices produces or sweetens or enhances the sound in a different way. Right here's our patch bay. This is the heart of the system. This is very much like the old-time telephone switchboard operator. You simply take a cable. You want to use one of these devices, you patch that device through the board, and it connects all of the electronics rack here with the audio console. We have 3 cassette decks here that we can make tapes for people as we're working. And then, excuse me, back over here we have our digital drum machine. This is a standard guitar. It looks like a standard guitar, but it has a special little box right here that has been developed for it that runs into this piece of electronics gear. And what this gear does here is it takes the guitar string sound, whatever you're playing on the guitar, and you can pull up a sound here on the synthesizer, strings or choir or organ, and you can make the guitar sound just like that. It's very easy to do. This is the sampler. All of the sounds are stored digitally onto these computer discs. This one here says acoustic piano, voices, and strings. So all I have to do is put it in the machine, load it up. Right now it's loaded up with voices, and all you have to do is pluck a string, and instead of a guitar you get, which makes it very handy for recording purposes. We have several synthesizers here in our rack, and we're very proud of our electronics in that department. I think it's time to show you the video now. Alright, here we are at the video console. We produce all of our television commercials, all of our corporate and industrial video projects here. We have the usual array of consumer type half-inch gear, beta, VHS, 8mm video, but we use 3/4-inch video for our professional application. The differences being, this is your VHS, a standard 2-hour tape, as compared to a 3/4-inch tape with only 20 minutes of recording time on it. What we do here, this is actually the control center of the studio. We have our video switcher here. This is how we select which camera angles we want, and then we use the T-bar to fade in and out, as you can see, to and from scenes. Our array of monitors here give us an exact look at each one of our input devices to tell us, without going to the master switcher, which selector we want to choose from. If I want to choose from this one or this one or this one, I punch up the appropriate number and I make the fade to initiate it. We also have signal processing gear in a video sense, much like the audio a while ago. Over here, our black boxes do the same type of things with video. They are enhancers, noise reduction devices, and time base correctors. This is our waveform monitor, which tells us our white and light balance, which means simply, as you're watching television at home, what's the difference between one commercial and another? What's the difference between a dark level and a light level? If you see a commercial go from one to the other and the commercial content stays the same, this is the device you use to measure your light levels to make sure that you're meeting up to Federal Communications spec. I think we'll go into the studio now, and I'll show you where we do all of our audio video production work on the studio side. Come with me. Out here in the recording room, in the studio per se, this is where the band set up all of the gear out here. The room has been acoustically treated. We have used special polyfoam insulation. We have the curtains here. We have a little parachute up here. Our grand piano, congas, all of the acoustic instruments are recorded in this room. As you can tell by looking at my drum kit, you can see the complexity involved in the recording process. I have a microphone on each individual cymbal as well as each individual drum. Okay, all of these microphones come down the cables here, and they're connected in this multi-channel box. We call it a snake. I don't know how it got named that way. I guess it's because of the one big long cable. All of the cables plug into this and then run into the control room and patch into the back of the audio console. Then I mix and blend all of these different microphones as a drummer plays to where I can get the sound to where it sounds like a drum kit. That they all have their proper perspective in the volume levels. These are called gobos, and they are movable sound baffles. You'll notice on one side we have a hard side for reflective sound, and on the other side we have a carpeted side which deadens the sound. We've created a little box here. This is where a guitar amplifier sits, so that when the band is performing, we have the microphone in front of the guitar which goes in the control room, but this guitar amplifier will be baffled off and will not bleed through the microphones over at the drum kit. We're now at the back end of the inside angle video set. These are two of our camera positions. We generally use a 3-camera shoot when doing a show such as Inside Angle. This is camera 1, camera 2 here. The camera operators are cued by a wireless intercom system. I wear a corresponding headset in the other room, and I dictate the shooting instructions to the camera people out here when we're doing an actual show. Okay, this is our the other side of the studio. That's our 6-inch Fresnel. We use two of those in lighting this particular set here. As you can tell by the backdrop, if you've watched Inside Angle, this is what we use. It's a piece of styrofoam that has been very tastefully decorated and colored. And this is the blank set we use for Inside Angle. And this pretty much gives you a rundown of the recording studio's physical plant and what all is involved in doing it. Thank you for taking the tour.